Hello friend, welcome to the course Foundations of R Software. And you can recall that in the last lecture we initiated a discussion on the topic of list. And we had understood that how a list can be created and what are the different properties and characteristics of this list. The list essentially can contain different types of objects, and we had learned that how we can access a particular element at a particular location inside the list. So, now today we are going to extend this discussion and we will try to learn various types of other operations in the list. And these operations are, suppose you want to add something at some place, or you want to remove something from some place, and like this. So, these operations are exactly on the same lines, the example what we took on the last lecture, that your mom has asked to bring couple of things from the market, and you ask her to please write them in the form of a list, and you take the list and then you bring the things. And now suppose you are in the market and your mom calls you and says, okay, please add some milk into the list. So, up to now there were three objects in the list: vegetable, medicine, cloth, and now she is asking that, okay, add the milk in the list. So, you will add there. So, what you have to do, you have to write the fourth value at some location. So, how to get it done? Number 2, there is another option that she asks you, okay, whatever I have written at the point number 2, don't bring it. So, that means whatever is written at the second place in the list, that has not to be brought. So, that is another option. And there is another possibility that you are in the market and she suddenly calls you and says, okay, there are a couple of things which you have to bring. Okay, I am sending you another list with your brother or your sister. Now, you are in the market, your brother or sister comes there, and you combine both the lists together and then complete the shopping. So, similarly, in the list also we have different types of options, that how we can add, remove or append or merge different elements and different lists. How to get it done in the R software, that is exactly what we are going to do in the lecture today. So, let us try to understand and try to take some example to understand how R is going to work and what are the commands. So, let us begin our lecture. Right. So, in the last class we had understood that how are you going to create a list. So, to create a list we simply have to write down here the command list, and then inside the parenthesis you try to give the values. So, I try to create here two lists. Say list 1 consists of 3 numbers which are numeric 1, 2, 3, and list 2 contains here 3 characters like say strings, water, juice and lemonade. I try to write down here list, and inside the parenthesis I just try to write down all the 3 elements separated by this comma. So, now if you try to see here, these 2 lists, they will look like this. In the list 1 you have here 1, 2 and 3, and then the list number 2 you have here water, juice and lemonade. Now, I want to merge these 2 lists. So, now how to do this merging of the list, that is first I would like to explain you. So, in order to merge the list, it is very simple. Just treat the list as a data vector and simply use the command here C, and then inside the parenthesis try to write down here list 1 comma list 2, and both the lists are going to be joined in the order you are trying to write them inside the parenthesis. So, suppose I try to combine both these lists, I try to merge both lists, and their outcome is stored in a list 1, 2. Right. So, this outcome will look like this. Now, you can see here this first part, this is your here list 1, and this second part here, this is your here list 2. So, both the lists are merged together without any problem. So, you can see here this is not a very difficult operation, and if you try to see it on the R console also, this is my list number 1, this is my list number 2, and now this is appearing in the merge list at here, and this is appearing in the merge list at here, right. So, I will try to show you this operation on the R console also, but before we try to understand one more aspect of this list. So, now what you have done here, that you have converted a vector to a list. Now, I want to do the opposite thing. I want to convert the list to a vector. So, for this operation you have to use the command here unlist, UNLIST, and inside the parenthesis you try to give the name of the list which you want to unlist. And what will happen? This is actually going to change the mode, right. For example, if you try to recall, the mode of a list is actually list. So, when you try to list it or you try to use the command unlist over the list, then what will happen? Let us try to see through this example, right. So, let me try to consider the same list 1 and list 2 here. So, now if you try to see, I simply try to write down here unlist list 1. Now, this is converted into a vector. How to identify? If you try to see here in this earlier one, when you were trying to look at this list number 1, it was looking like this, that it has here addresses like inside the double square bracket. But now, this is only here 1, 2, 3. And similarly, if you try to here unlist here this list 2, so simply write unlist UNLIST inside this parenthesis and write down the name of the list 2. You can see here this is coming out to be simply here as a vector. And if you try to verify it here, you can see here that in the earlier one, this list 2 was looking like this. It has the addresses in the format of double square. So that was the particular structure of the list. Now, but suppose you want to verify what is really happening with this unlist command. So, obviously, if you try to find out the mode of say here list 1 and list 2, they are both of them are going to be here list, right. You can see here mode of list 1 is list, but when you try to unlist it, so the mode of this unlist of list 1 becomes here numeric. So, now this is here a number. That is what I wanted to show you, and this is here the screenshot of the same operation, and similarly I will try to show you that what will happen if you try to unlist the list 2. So, you try to just think what do you expect what will happen if you try to unlist the list number 2, right. So, first let me try to create here these here two lists, say list 1 and list 2. So, you can see here I try to consider here this list 1 is like this and list 2 here is like this, right. So, you have to just see, well, you have to write it like this, okay. So, this is here list 2. So, you can see here now I can write down here, see here I want to now combine them together. So, I try to write down here list 1 2 is equal to say C, say list 1 and comma list 2, and you can see here what happens. Now, this is your here list 1 2 like this. You can see here that first 3 elements they are going to be from the list 1 and the remaining 3 elements water, juice and lemonade they are from the list 2, right. So, like this. So, now if you try to unlist them, so you can see here this is your here list 1 and if you try to unlist here list 1, what happens? This is here like this. So, you can see the structure very clearly. This is the structure of the list and this is only a vector. And in case if you try to find out the here the mode of this list 1, you can see here this will come out to be a list, whereas if you try to find out the mode of this unlist of list 1, this comes out to be here numeric, right. And similarly, if you try to look here for here list 2, this is here like this, and what will be the mode of this list 2? This is a list. Now, you try to unlist. unlist here list number 2. You can see here this will become just like a vector, and if you try to find out the mode of this unlisted list 2, it comes out to be here a character. That is what I told you, this is character. Right. So, now let us try to consider some more operations, and now I try to show you that how you can append something in the list. Means append, you know that you want to add something, right. Right. Now, you have two options, whether you want to append something at a particular location or at the end. So, first try to consider the same list, list 1 and list 2 here, and you can see here both of them have 3 elements. The list 1 has 3 elements 1, 2 and 3, and the list 2 has 3 elements water, juice and lemonade. Now, suppose I want to add 100 in the list 1. So, for that I simply use the command here append, APPEND, all in lowercase alphabet. So, I try to write down here APPEND, and then inside the parenthesis I write down the name of the list, and then I try to write down whatever is to be appended. I write here 100. Now you see what will happen. Means earlier your list was up to here 1, 2, 3 list 1, but now you have appended, and now you have here the 4th element here 100. So, now this is your here new list. And similarly, if I want to add coffee in the list number 2 here, so I try to use the command here append, APPEND, and inside the parenthesis I try to write down here list 2, the list in which I want to append, and without giving anything I simply try to add here the name coffee. So, you can see here once you enter, this is these first 3 elements, they are from the list number 1, and now the 4th value is added here. And one thing what you have to keep in mind here, it is very important that you have not given any here location, but whatever you are adding here, that is simply coming at the end, right, either it is numeric or character. But now suppose you want to add these number at a particular location. Suppose you want to add this 100 say somewhere here, or say coffee somewhere here for example, then how to get it done, right. So, this is the screenshot of the same operation. You can see here that once you are trying to add here 100, then after this what is happening, that this is coming here and coffee is coming here, right. And now, if you want to add something at a given location, suppose you want to add some number after given location, then what are you going to do? For that we use the command here, see here append. So, I try to take here the same list command, list 1, 2, 3 and list water, juice, lemonade. So, and I try to suppose I want to add here a number 100 at after the second position. So, suppose I write down here append, then list 1, and then whatever I want to 100, whatever I want to add, that I write, and then I try to write down here after is equal to 2. So, now you will see here this 100 is going to appear where, this is here 3, means this is after 1, this is after 2 and this is here the position. And similarly, if you want to add suppose coffee here after 2, then you have to give the command here like as here append, say here append list 2, then coffee, and then after that you write after equal to 2, AFTER is equal to 2. So, you can see here the first element is your water, then second element is your juice, and the third element in the list was lemonade, but now this coffee has entered after the second position and this is now here, right, and the lemonade is now shifted to the 4th position. So, this is how you can actually append the list after a given position. And these are here the screenshot, because it was quite long. So, I have shown you here, this is your here list 1, this is your here list 2, and you can see here once you are trying to add here this first element of list 1, second element of list 1 and third element comes here now here in the 4th position. Now, this 100 is entered here, and similarly the same thing is happening in the list 2 that you have appended here the coffee, right. So, similarly I try to give you here one more operation, that if you want to remove something from the list, And suppose you want to remove something, then definitely you have to give that what you want to remove and its location. So, if you want to remove something at a given position, then you have to use the command here like this. You have to write down here the name of the list, right, and then you have to write down here the negative sign here, and then you have to write down the number of location or position. So, suppose I want to remove suppose the second element, that means the element which is at the second position. So, I will have to write down here -2, and similarly if I want to remove something which is at the fourth position, then I have to write down here -4 like this. So, we try to consider the same example, and let us try to remove some elements from those lists. So, let us consider the same list. List 1 is equal to like as here consisting of 1, 2, 3, list 2 is consisting of water, juice and lemonade. Now, suppose I want to remove the second element from list 1. So, what is the second element in your list 1, which is here 2. So, now you simply write down here the name of the list, which is list 1, and inside the square bracket you simply try to write down the -2. So, you can see here now this 2 is removed, and then you have only here two values 1 and 3. And yeah, you can save it in a new list also, and you can operate it. Similarly, if I want to remove water from the list 2. So, you can see here this is the position number 1, position number 2 for juice and position number 3 for lemonade. So, I have to simply write down here list 2, which is the name of the list. Inside the square bracket I have to write down here -1. So, you can see here this water is removed, and you have only here juice and lemonade, right, which are corresponding to the second and third element in the list 2. So, this is how you can remove any element from a list which is given at some given position. So, you can see here this is the screenshot. You have here list 1, and from there you are trying to remove the second element. So, this first element comes here, and the third element now become the second element, because and this second element is now removed. And similarly, in the here this list number 2, if you try to see here, you wanted to remove the first element. So, this first element here water is removed, and the second element, which is here juice, comes at the first place, and lemonade comes at the second place. So, you can see here that these are not very difficult operations, but let me try to first show you these operations on the console, so that you are more confident about them. Right. So, first we try to create here these two lists, and then we try to first try to use the command here append. Right. So, I try to consider here, say here list 1 and list 2 that we already had cleared have created. So, you can see here this is your here list 1, and this is your here list 2, right. So, now suppose I consider the list 1, and I want to append here this 100. So, you can write down here, see here append, and the name of the list 1, and then suppose I want to append here 200. You can see here now in the list 1 there is only, see here 3 elements, and suppose I want to save it as, say here list say 1 with 200, right. So, you can see here this is now very clear 1 200. What is this value comes out to be? You can see here that now at the fourth position this 200 is added. And similarly, if you try to take here, suppose here the list number 2, and you suppose I want to add here my own name. So, I write down here Shalab. You can see here now this water, juice, lemonade, and after this my name Shalab is added here, right. And now, in case if I want to add suppose this Shalab here is after 2. So, what I will do here, that I will simply try to write down here after is equal to 2, and you can see here that now the Shalab is added. Earlier it was at the fourth position, now it is at the third position. And similarly, in case if you want to add here, means in this list 1, suppose you want to append here a value like this one, that earlier you had added only here the value 200, but I want to add 200 say after say equal to 1, right. You can see here. So, now it is added here, In the example you had added it after 2, right. So, this 1, 2, 3 etc., they are going to give you the location, the index, right. So, you can see here now it is added at here after the first position, that is at the position number 2, right. Okay. So, now if you try to see here, this is your here list 1, and suppose I want to remove here something. So, if I try to write down here, suppose I want to remove the say this second position. So, I will try to write down here list 1, and inside the square bracket I will write down here -2, and you can see here this 1 and only 3 are there and 2 is removed. And similarly, if I try to consider the list number 2, and suppose I want to remove here the first element, you can see here you simply write down here -1 inside the square bracket and you will get here juice and lemonade, right. So, these are not very difficult operation, but you have to simply keep in mind that what are the things that you can do and how this R is working over them. So, now I try to give you here one more operation, that you have got here a list and you want to extract a list or from this list. So, you want to create a sub list. So, how to get it done? So, the operation is very simple, that you simply try to give here the name of the list from where you want to extract, and inside the square brackets you try to give the location in terms of indexes, and then it will work. So, I try to consider here one more example where I try to take the list 1 as the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in list number 2 I try to add here water, juice, lemonade, tea, coffee and milk. So, I have added some more elements in the earlier list 1 and list 2, and now I try to execute these 4 commands, right, and I try to show you what happens, right. So, yeah, so I have written it here like this. So, this is your here list 1 consisting of here 6 numbers, which is here like this, you can see here. Now, if you try to see, I am writing here list 1 inside the square brackets 2:4, which is 2, 3 and 4. So, you can see here that the elements at the second, third and fourth position, they will come here. So, the elements at the second, third and fourth position were 2, 3, 4, now they are here. And similarly, if you want to extract only some elements which are at particular given position, simply suppose I want to extract the elements at the first, third and fifth position. So, I give here list 1, the name of the list, and inside the square bracket I try to give here the location of these values the data vector. So, I write down here square brackets and then 1, 3, 5, and you can see here that it is going to give you this outcome. So, you can see here the elements at the first position, third position and fifth position, they are extracted here, right. And similarly, if you try to see the screenshot here, this is the screenshot of the same operation which I shown you, right. And now, the same operation if you try to do from the list 2. So, this list 2 is consisting of water, juice, lemonade, tea, coffee and milk. So, now if you try to write down here list 2 and then inside the square bracket 2:4, that is 2, 3, 4, you want to extract a sub list consisting of the elements at the second, third and fourth position in the list 2. So, in the list 2, if you try to see here at second, third and fourth position, you have here 3 elements juice, lemonade and tea. So, now they are coming here as a juice, lemonade and tea, and this is your here sub list. And similarly, if you want to do the same operation that you did in the case of list 1, that you want to extract the elements in the list 2 which are at the first, third and fifth position. So, you can see here at first you have water, then at third you have lemonade and at fifth you have coffee. So, if you try to operate it here, you get here a list which has here these 3: water, lemonade and coffee. And this is here the screenshot of the same operation, that you have here all the 6 elements and now here are the extracted elements, right. Okay. So, now let us try to do these operations in the R software, so that you get convinced that how the things are working. So, if you try to see here, I am trying to create here these 2 lists. So, this is my here list 1 consisting of 6 values, and this is my here list 2 consisting of these 6 values, right. So, now if I try to give here, suppose I try to extract here from the list 1. So, I try to give here the number 1 and then I try to give it here 2 colon say 5. So, the values as second, third, fourth, fifth will come here, right. So, you can see here. And similarly, if I try to do the same operation in the list 2 also, you can see here that this juice, lemonade, tea and coffee, they are the outcomes. And suppose if you want to extract a sub list which is consisting of elements at particular position, say here 2, 5 only. Let me try to take only 2 values here. So, you can see here now this will give you the second and fifth values in the list 1, which are here 2 and 5, easy to remember. And same operation if you try to do in the list 2, you will get here the values at the second and fifth position, which are juice and coffee. Right. So, now we come to an end to this lecture and we stop here. So, you can see here now you have given we have understood the various types of very elementary operations for the list. And you can now imagine that whenever you are trying to handle the data, you always try to extract the data, merge the data, combine the data, etc. Then how are you going to do it? Right. So, these are very simple commands, but the main important part what I always say is that you have to understand that how R is functioning, how R is trying to behave with these commands, so that once you understand the behavior of this command, then you can modify or you can control your statements to do something in the R software. So, you try to practice it. Why don't you try to take some examples, try to create examples yourself, which are not difficult, because creating a list is not a very difficult thing, and try to think about the common operations and try to execute them in the R software and see, are you getting the same outcome what you expected? I am sure you will get it. So, you try to practice it and I will see you in the next lecture. Till then, goodbye.